Really?
My parents were worried I would never wear them, but I wore them all the time. Just because
so you could see.
Yeah, I just hated not being able to see.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But eye infections are a big thing. You have to clean your contacts.
Okay, so that's why we're talking about eye infections today.
Yes.
Here are some expressions that we're going to cover. Weigh one's options.
This is when you're considering different options. Like we talked about pros and cons a few episodes back.
Yeah, right.
It's when you're looking, are the benefits better or are the costs bigger than the benefits?
Oh, okay. And if you open yourself up to something?
It means you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable, which means possibly hurt.
Yeah.
But it's often for truth or to be intimate or close to someone.
Okay. All right. And finally, deal with something or someone.
Just to handle something.
Yeah.
Manage it. There's a problem and you're going to manage it.
Okay. Let's go ahead and listen to our dialogue.
I have an optometrist appointment tomorrow.
Think of some questions you want to ask him about various types of contacts you can get.
You mean like whether to get daily wear or extended wear? I definitely want to weigh my options.
Also, if you don't put them in correctly, you open yourself up to infections.
Oh, I definitely want to avoid eye infections. I had them enough as a kid wearing glasses.
It's harder to deal with infections when you wear contacts.
Here we go. Marta says, I have an optometrist appointment tomorrow. We're beginning our dialogue with our first power vocab, optometrist.
Yes.
And it's a little bit confusing with ophthalmologist.
Yes.
So optometrist is spelled O-P-T-O-M-E-T-R-I-S-T. Who is that?
So an optometrist is an eye doctor that looks at the health of your eye and is going to give you glasses or lenses things. They can do some very basic diagnostic, very basic tests on your eye.
Yeah.
However, my understanding is an ophthalmologist is someone who is doing surgery on the eye.
Yes.
So optometrist is more whatever you can do outside of the eye.
Okay.
And it is not an optician. An optician is someone who is only dealing with glasses. So an optometrist, O-P-T-O-M-E-T-R-I-S-T, is the person you go to when you want a glasses prescription or a contact lenses prescription.
Okay, all right. A little confusing.
It is confusing. Even native speakers
we don't know.
confused with this.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Dominic says, think of some questions you'll want to ask him about various types of contacts you can get. So Dominic knows that Marta wants contact lenses. And Dominic is saying, okay, like there are a variety of contacts, ask him all these questions. And what does Marta say?
You mean like whether to get daily wear or extended wear? I definitely want to weigh my options.
Okay. So Dominic is saying, ask those questions. And Marta is replying by saying, oh, you mean like, these kind of questions?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, you mean like is our power pattern. What does you mean like?
Yes, this is, it feels weird when I'm looking at this phrase, but we do say it all the time.
Right.
Dominic has suggested that she ask questions.
Right.
So Marta is confirming and adding what Dominic actually means.
Okay.
So Dominic said, ask some questions.
Yeah.
And she's like, like, for example, is what she's saying. So with this you mean like is a way of saying, so the actual type of questions or the details that you're actually thinking about are da-da-da-da-da.
Right. So she's like saying, you mean you're referring to this? Is this what you're talking about?
Yes.
You mean like, and then it is getting daily wear or extended wear.
Yes.
So two options, clear options are daily contacts or extended wear contacts.
Yes. So the daily wear contacts are the one-time use contacts, And extended wear contacts are the ones you wear for they have 2-week versions. They have month-long versions.
Okay.
I think that's as long as they go.
So when you had contacts, what kind of contacts did you have?
I had extended wear.
Extended wear.
But I took them out every day.
Oh.
So some people, I think there are some contacts now that you just keep in your eyes for like 2 weeks or a month. But my version was you put them in the morning, you wear them, and then at night you take them out and
That
put them
makes
in
sense.
liquid.
I don't know if I would want to sleep with my contact lenses
I did not like
on.
it.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
Your eyes are closed. Why do you need to have them in your eye? I don't know.
Some people forget.
They forget?
It's just in their eye. But for me, it just felt
that feeling.
dirty. It felt dirty, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I definitely want to weigh my options. So weigh is like WEIGH.
Yes.
And then your choices or your options.
Right. So we all know what options are, but to weigh your options, it's like having a scale where you're putting the good things on one side of the scale, the bad things on the other side of the scale, and seeing which is bigger.
Right.
So weighing your options is basically seeing, are there more benefits or more costs?
Right.
More disadvantages?
So it's almost like you're weighing something on a scale and
Yes.
you're seeing which way is tipping, which is heavier
Yes.
or lighter. So like heavier meaning, more negative or more positive, and just trying to figure out which is a better option. Okay. And Dominic says also, if you don't put them in correctly, you open yourself up to infections.
Yes.
Now, if you open yourself up to something,
It means you make yourself vulnerable to, or you put yourself in a dangerous situation. So it kind of creates a possibility. If you think of like when you have armor, when the armor is closed,
yeah,
nothing can come in.
right,
But when you open up the armor,
right,
then an arrow can, come in and
right,
shoot you, right?
right.
So in the same way, with things like an infection, if you do risky behavior, like keeping your contacts in, you're putting yourself at risk for infection. So we use this phrase, open yourself up to infection.
So it's like you're leaving yourself vulnerable. You're kind of a weak spot,
Yeah.
and you're opening it, and something can come inside.
Yes. It's like a turtle. A turtle
yeah.
closes itself
Right.
to be safe, but sometimes the turtle opens itself up,
Right.
and that's when it's the most dangerous for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does Marta say?
Oh, I definitely want to avoid eye infections. I had them enough as a kid wearing glasses.
Okay, so Marta has a lot of experience with eye infections, and Dominic says it's harder to deal with infections when you wear contacts. Okay, harder to deal with.
To deal with is to manage, to treat, or to solve, in this case, like an infection, to get rid of that infection.
Right, because if you're wearing contacts, it's hard to get rid of it.
Because the infection gets on the contact lens.
Right.
So you have to make sure it's really clean.
Oh,
and,
dear.
yeah.
What a drag.
Ugh.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to that one more time.
I have an optometrist appointment tomorrow.
Think of some questions you want to ask him about various types of contacts you can get.
You mean like whether to get daily wear or extended wear? I definitely want to weigh my options.
Also, if you don't put them in correctly, you open yourself up to infections.
Oh, I definitely want to avoid eye infections. I had them enough as a kid wearing glasses.
It's harder to deal with infections when you wear contacts.
It's time for Power Note. We're on pages 64 and 65. If you weigh your options, you're thinking about the benefits or the disadvantages of this choice that you have. Did you join a gym yet?
Not yet. I like to weigh my options first, so I'm going to each one for a week.
Okay. So I like to weigh my options first. So there are many gyms,
Yes.
and sometimes it's hard to make a choice. So that's why he's saying, I'd like to weigh my options first. I like to see which gym is good and which one is better and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
After weighing my options, I decided to stay in my apartment for another year. Should I move? Should I stay?
Yeah.
But the rent is, kind of high. But the new place.
And then the cost of moving.
Yeah, right. If you have to think about the cost of moving. If you're planning to save money, you have to do like a real nice calculation.
It's so hard.
It's so expensive to move.
Yes. I mean, especially, I think there's an extra level of difficulty with living in Korea, with choosing your options, weighing your options.
Yeah.
Because are you going to do chonse or 월세?
Yeah. Or are you going to do a little bit of like
반전세?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, or if you live in Jeju-do, you could also do 연세. Apparently in Jeju, they pay the whole year.
Oh, yeah. I did hear about that.
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
I know. So that's another thing you have to wait, because sometimes, depending on where you live and the price of chonse versus the price of 월세, your monthly rent,
Right.
it can be cheaper to do one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you have to weigh your
You
options.
have to weigh your options.
Yeah.
Then you have to think about moving.
Right. And these days, I mean, you hear about all the chonse scams,
Yeah.
and you're not able to get it all back. You got to weigh your options.
And management fees.
Oh,
Like your 관리비.
관리비 is, oof.
And then your water, your electricity, your internet.
Oh, my gosh.
There are a lot of options to weigh.
Totally. All right. If you open yourself up to something, it means that you're making yourself vulnerable.
Yes.
And the word vulnerable means what?
Vulnerable means that you are weak or you're at risk of being hurt.
Right.
It can be in a very physical way. Like if you're in the middle of war, if you're in the middle of a
Battlefield?
and
Yeah.
you're just out in a field.
Yeah.
Everyone can see you.
Yeah.
That means you're vulnerable.
That's
you
right.
could get hit, right?
That's right.
In the same way, emotionally, like say when you're with friends or family or whatever, sometimes you're very honest.
Right.
And,
Expressive.
you open yourself. And that's a vulnerable time.
Yeah.
It's not that you become hurt.
Yeah.
But
Or weak.
Or weak. It's the possibility.
That's right. The possibility of potentially becoming hurt.
Yes.
Or injured.
If you're vulnerable with a bad person,
Yeah.
they are likely to
That's
hurt
right.
you. Yeah.
All right. What do you think about me running for mayor?
You would open yourself up to scrutiny by the press. It might not be good.
Okay. Scrutiny by the press means the press, the newspapers, are going to really bother you.
Yeah, they're going to judge you, probably criticize you.
Do a background check.
Look at, a lot of people, smart people, don't do anything with politics.
No.
Because they don't want the press looking in.
Oh, sure. By becoming a writer, I opened myself up to criticism.
Ah, yes.
Right. If you are a public figure or if you write for the public, you really are opening yourself up for many things.
Yes.
Because you're a public figure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they can criticize you, they can praise you, but they can also attack you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's opening yourself up to everyone's opinion.
Everyone's opinion.
I mean, we have that too. We're kind of public figures. We work in radio.
I mean, not everybody loves us.
Yeah.
They could say, Cameron and Kristen are just so, they're too much. They laugh too much.
Yeah, not all the comments are good. Almost all of them are good. Not all of them.
And what do? We ignore them.
We ignore them.
Yeah, we ignore them. We don't care. Okay. Deal with something or someone to manage or handle something or someone.
Yes.
Okay. How do you deal with those noisy neighbors of yours?
If they get too loud, I call the police.
Okay. Oof. That's kind of, for me, I call the maintenance office.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how you deal with the unpredictable weather in Seattle.
Oh.
Or how do you deal with all the rain in Seattle?
Yeah. So this deal can be to solve something.
Yeah.
Or it could just be to endure or to get through something.
Right.
You're not changing the weather here.
That's right.
So dealing with the weather would be, having a raincoat or having really good boots that are warm or
the cold temperature.
not leaving your house.
Yeah.
That's a way to deal with bad weather as well.
That's right. Our power pattern today is you mean like, which is basically saying, Oh, what you're saying is?
You're giving examples for something that the other person said.
Okay. You mean like classic rock from the 1970s?
You mean like whether to get front row seats or backstage passes? Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the types of things.
All right. Our power vocab is optometrist on page 66. Do check out the definition, and let's thank our sponsor.
한국토익위원회에서